All right, we are here now with Joe, Mr. Thumbs Passano, and Jay, and we're actually going to take some viewer questions. We're going to let Joe kind of ask the viewer questions. Joe?
Steven, Jason, Jacob, Jagger, formerly of Citrine, the Sonic Seedpod episode, asks, what are your guys' favorite moments behind the scenes?
Jay, what about you? You're usually behind the scenes.
Yeah.
What is your...
Ooh. What's my favorite?
Yeah.
I think there are so many of them. I'm trying to think of which one would be the number one. I think, I'm going to have to say it was the banter that went on before each of the performances when we're doing the setup,
Right.
It's just so much fun stuff.
That is a blast.
Yeah,
it was kind of funny.
It was.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good stuff. And I would love to be able to show some of that. I know we captured, some of it, but I think it'd be great if we had people just showing up to see some of that.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
I have to say, when I do the audio for the shows, my favorite behind the scenes moment was editing Sundial from Grim Waters, because there was a point where they're building up, and then Nate the singer just lets out this big epic chorus part, and being able to adjust that just right so the energy came across, but it wasn't blowing out the speakers. Right. There was a moment when I had it kind of locked in that I was like, that's it right there. So that's what I remember.
It's like the feeling when you're there in the room and trying to translate that to the viewer experience.
And when I had it locked in, I just kind of felt like it was synced in there, and it was pretty cool.
That's sick. Another question from Jacob. This is just to you, Steven.
Uh-oh.
What are your answers to the questions of doom?
Well, so I would answer a couple, but there are a few that I'm going to reserve because I would like to see American Progress actually get on the show, which is my band. Thank you very much. Debut record, Do We Know, available everywhere now.
Buy it.
But I want to wait till it's a little more appropriate for the host to be on his own show. So we're going to wait on that. But
no leaks?
I think...
No leaks, Steven?
No, not... Well, I think maybe a little bit later we might cover some of those, because I think we're going to go into a whole Question to Doom segment, because that was one that definitely stood out as a nice behind-the-scenes moment, kind of coming out with that. And
hey, I'll be willing to answer some questions for the seed, because, I don't get to answer them.
Jason, please do.
All right.
So, what is your most useless talent?
My most useless... Now I have to actually answer the
See that?
I know you do an enormous amount of things without shoes on.
You know what? Actually, that is probably one of my most useless talents, is being able to endure the freezing cold tundra without
I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
I honestly
don't know either.
Yeah.
I swore off of shoes in 2000, and I never went back. After I tried it, and I'm like, I think I like this.
So all the way up until 2000, it was shoes, and then you just
cold turkey.
Just done.
Cold turkey. Just like swore off. Went and got some. I started with flip flops, and I had to graduate. Now I go with more sophisticated.
Okay, so you weaned yourself off of the shoes. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's
You're rocking your cold turkeys down there.
That's right.
Jay, what animal do you think would be the rudest if they could talk?
Oh man, I think, gosh. Oh, I know people already said some of these, but I guess hyenas seem like they'd be pretty rude. They seem real cocky.
I don't think anyone said hyenas yet.
No, I don't think so either.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
the way that, and they're always laughing at you.
Yeah, that's what really I don't like that.
That's what set me off.
Yeah, it would set me
like,
off.
What are you laughing at?
Yeah. So that's my answer, hyenas.
Right.
I think they'd be pretty.
What would your theme song be, Jay?
Oh boy,
I want to know.
This one, I got to know. What would Jay's theme song be?
Oh boy,
with your Alexandrian library of music in your cranium.
Oh gosh, okay, I'm gonna have to really. Let's go with. God, there's so many of them, but I'm just gonna go with Back in Black. I just feel like I would, if I was going to say, I want to rule the world, I'm going to walk in the room and I just want that to be playing.
That'd be I could see that. I could see that for sure.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with that one.
Right.
Yeah, you want to hear the E minor every time.
It was either that or a Michael Jackson song, but I just might not have had the same impact that I think you were looking for.
I think Back in Black is
it's a little more metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's impactful.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. Back in Black.
Instead of Billie Jean. I don't know.
We at the Sonic Seedpod love open chords.
Right.
This one's for both of you. What dream artists or dream bands you want to have on? Now, you talked about how you wanted Surefire, wanted Sit Kitty Sit.
So another goal band is Braid, for sure. I saw them last December, so that was a year ago, and they still bring as much energy as they did 20 years ago. And if they were still doing it, I would love to have Braid in the studio, for sure.
Super cool.
Of course, I have lofty goals. I'd love to have Metallica in here or something, something crazy like that. But, you know,
I want to know Lars's most useless talent.
I do too, because
Because he's probably
got a lot of them.
He's probably got I didn't want to say it, but he might have a few of them.
We at the Sonic Seedpod have nothing rude to say about Lars Ulrich.
No, I love Lars.
No, yeah,
that man is brilliant.
Yeah, so
and one of your dream bands, American Progress, of course, as mentioned.
Well, I mean, I would love to play it. I don't know how many people want to see it, but hopefully all of them do.
Yeah. Hey,
I would say the band that I would want is actually a band that has already broken up, a local band that has broken up that was one of my favorites. You know, there's so many of them I couldn't even give a list, but there's a lot of them. So maybe someday we could inspire some artists that are retired from their band or broken up to like piece it back together just to come on the show. So anyway, that's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
That's poetic.
If I recall, that might be a viewer question: is what bands that are no longer.
Right? the one that's the Arial font beneath the one I just read.
Yeah.
Is there a band that's not around anymore that you wish you could have on the show?
All right.
I've got a few of those.
Okay, you go first.
Okay, so there was good friends of mine. I'm still close with all three of them. A band called Last that grew up with, and they had such great music. They never actually quite found a singer that matched their vibe, but just the music was always an enjoyable part. And then Murder in the Red Barn, which I know the guys still run around Milwaukee and still kind of talk to each other and whatnot, but that's a band that I got into after they broke up. I think they would be amazing on the Seed Pod for sure.
Nice.
I would have to go with Nate, which was originally Human Nature. They're a great band. Another one would be Headwork, the band that I got to join as well. Another one of my favorite bands. And then Jacob Stone, which then reformed as Northern Room.
Okay.
Had some killer songs. Hopefully people are Googling this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
that's the hope.
It's good stuff, right?
Yeah.
I encourage you to check it out.
Yeah, to any Seedpod viewers using this as a second monitor show, put the first one to some good use.
Right on. So you never know. Maybe some of these bands are hearing me and saying, hey, maybe we should call Jay up and get on there.
Get on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right on.
Gentlemen, what is the biggest challenge you've had when producing the Chronic Seedpod?
Getting people to say the name right.
What? We here at the Tonic Treetop value precision and accuracy.
There was a couple of challenges when booking some of the groups because a few of them had a little trial and error and whatnot. And I know we'll get into that in a different segment of this. But I know I think I can speak for some of the production crew. Lighting, that was getting it to light up just right and bringing it, an energy to the performance that we all want to see. Yeah,
I'll have to add to that. It was probably from a production standpoint. We had this idea, and everything sounds good on paper,
right?
Until we're like, okay, let's try this, and we're like, oh my god, this is bigger. Did we bite off more than we could chew?
Yep,
yeah.
Exactly.
And in talking about when you put this stuff together, this is a bunch of sciences brought together. It's like video production. It's live sound,
right?
It's also recording production,
right?
Thrown all together. So we didn't realize that this is going to be harder than we thought.
Yeah, when I had thought about this show back in 2017, I didn't really take into account that it was an actual production that needs a crew, and I'm really glad that I didn't have my original idea of having it live, and having a camera operator switch back, that.
Oh, you mean live stream?
Right.
And
then having multiple cameras and someone back there with buttons, and no.
That could still happen.
Maybe.
I, as a former performer, am also very glad that I didn't have to do that live.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right. One more question for you, gentlemen. From Chris at Skeggy the Yeti. Skeggy the Yeti?
Yep.
And then maybe cut that out if I said it wrong. What hobbies do you use to stave off the existential dread?
I've thought about this one, and I basically am planning when the existential dread hits, I jam nails into my eyes and put headphones on at full blast and ignore the outside world until it just all goes away.
Yeah. There is no existential dread. I'm a brainwashed optimist, so...
We at the Sonic Seedpod recommend you just get over it. And with that, gentlemen.
Thank you, Joe, for hosting the viewer question segment.
Steven, thank you.